No, I mean, you hit it on the head. Look, Russia is Russia, and it's unique and in a wonderful way. But the Russians, they're just like we are in many ways too. In Russia, there is the blogosphere. There's a lot of Z bloggers, they call them. There's they have their version of the talk shows. There's some very popular talk shows, very popular hosts. Vladimir Solovyov is extraordinarily popular. And he possesses deep insights. He's not somebody, whether you agree with his politics or not is irrelevant. He's somebody who possesses insights and more importantly, as an audience, millions. That Ksenia Sobchak is another person opposite end of the spectrum. She has an audience of millions. She has a different perspective. The Z bloggers are there. The thing about Z bloggers, and people need to understand that you go on Telegram and you can subscribe to their channels. But they give themselves away. Every once in a while they go, and hit the like button, subscribe. I mean, just what we do. Hit the like button, subscribe. Why? Well, because you can't survive without viewers. You can't survive without viewers. You've got to have viewers, and you got to deliver a product that is attractive, which means you're always looking for an angle. Your angle is the truth. Their angle may not be the truth, because the truth, when you're dealing with Russia, with a Russian president, with just a few months ago had a popularity rating of 84%. If you just sit there and cheerlead, you disappear into the chatter, and you're not separated. There's no reason for people to subscribe to your channel and support you. So you need to separate yourself. And so there's a lot of people right now who in Russia are exploiting the Ukrainian Western intelligence information operation for their own personal benefit. They're over there, repeating the Ukrainian propaganda and then asking the question, why isn't Putin doing more? You have sincere people too. Look, it's possible to be extraordinary. I think Sergei Karaganov is an extraordinary, sincere person of the highest intellect. But he has taken the position that what Russia's doing right now is weak, and that Vladimir Putin needs to attack Europe. And that's he's allowed to have that point. I sympathize with a lot of it. But again, I also recognize that Vladimir Putin is the president of Russia with the weight of a nation on his back, and he has to make different decisions. And that the decisions he makes has to be, assessed on a broader range of topics than simply how are we responding to Europe. But my point is, you can go to Russia and you can find voices that question the war. You can find voices of opposition. And sometimes these voices are concentrated in the social media realm or on TV. Again, because TV, a lot of these people who are on TV have their own Telegram channels. And so they go on these shows, The Great Game and 60 Minutes and all this, and they say their things. And again, if you go on there and you just, Scott, what do you think? I think Vladimir Putin's doing a really good job. Well, now I just made the program boring. Well, Scott, what do you think Putin should do differently? Nothing. I think Putin's doing a really good job. Audiences, you're losing the audience. Go to the next guy. What do you think? Well, I think Vladimir Putin is, getting a little older now. And, he may have been strong in the past, but now he's slipping at the wheel and the dogs are nipping at him and, he's got to do this. And people are going, oh, wait, this is interesting now. We're watching the show. And then I have a Telegram channel and subscribe to my Telegram channel. Oh, and then up. And so, Russia plays this game as well. It's a dangerous game. This is why I really like our good friend Andrei Elnitsky, because Andrei Elnitsky recognizes this, and it's called mental war. And you have to be really careful because you get sucked into this thing and you don't realize that you're being weaponized to destroy a society from within. And a lot of the Z bloggers are doing that. And I believe in free speech, and I think everybody has a right to speak out, but people should understand what's going on, especially Western observers observing the Russian dynamic need to understand that it's a little bit more complicated. This is why Gilbert Doctorow needs to be treated with a huge grain of salt. I mean, a man who watches Russian TV and makes his analysis based solely upon that is missing the point. That what he's getting on Russian TV is not a reflection of reality. It's a highly doctored script designed to, tweak emotions so that people subscribe, so that people watch. It's not real, Gilbert. It's not real. And handpicking your damn taxi drivers and listening to them. Hell, I love Russian taxi drivers. Every time I get in one, we talk to them. And sometimes we get great insights. We had one say that you're that guy. Really? I'm that guy? Yeah. You're the best damn military analyst in the world. Really? Thanks. Your name? Scott Ritter? No. No. You're that really good military analyst, Tucker Carlson. Now, I mean, right off the bat, we got an issue here. I mean, I'd love to be Tucker with his viewership and all that, but the point is taxi drivers don't always know what they're talking about. So you have to be careful. But this is Gilbert Doctor's word, or he goes to dinner with people who think just like him. And he creates an echo chamber. People need to be really careful. The best way to deal with Russia is go there yourself. Colin, that's what I told you. That's why, we went there twice, and hopefully we can go again. You got to go to Russia. You got to see it firsthand. You got to see this for yourself. You got to meet with people, talk to people, listen to people. That's one of the most important things. But we need to be careful right now, because in Russia, there is this echo chamber that's being weaponized by the West, and it's being used to try and tear down Russian society. And it's having an impact. I mean, regardless, this is really bad stuff. I hate to report this, but Vladimir Putin's popularity rating went from 84 to 79.
Oh my gosh!
The man's on the verge of collapsing right now. I mean, no Russian supports him at all. An American politician would kill for a 79% approval rating, wouldn't they? I mean, could you imagine that? We got presidents going, I got 36% support. I'm doing pretty good. Well, Vladimir Putin's got 79%. He's been in war for over 4 years. All right, and he's going up against, and this is the other thing people don't understand, the Russians are going up against one of the most sophisticated hybrid war, proxy war, information war systems there. The British running this, the CIA running this, even some European Union intelligence services. These are good intelligence, and I don't mean good like nice guys. I mean, they know what they're doing. They're very, very knowledgeable, and remember, their job isn't so much to change Russian society because they're family. Their job is to change perceptions in the West, and they're having a good success rate. There's so many people just believe the crap they see on social media. I mean, it's amazing how you can put out a post and go, oh. I mean, I got people who call me up about, well, Scott, last night on Twitter, I read that this, that, and the other thing was happening. I said, no, don't do that. Don't read Twitter or don't read X. But there's a huge information warfare campaign being waged right now. This is why shows like yours are so important. That's why I go on them, because you have an audience that asks questions, that has a discerning mind. And we've talked about this in the past. When you take your audience, Danny Haifong's audience, Judge Napolitano's audience, Nima Rostami's audience, there's some overlap, but they're different audiences altogether. When you add them up, if people are like, Scott, why are you going on the internet all the time? Do I really want to spend my day doing this? No, I'd rather play golf. I'd rather be with Maverick. But it's important to do this. This is the absolutely most important time. And by going on all these shows, 5 to 7 million people are going to be impacted by what I say. And that swamps anything the mainstream media does. See, we have a platform, and we have the ability to strike back, and we are striking back. And we need to, not that we need to do better, but, we need to grow our platforms more. So that we can offset, but we're being crushed on X. I've got over, almost 600,000 followers. Now, I know many of them are bots, and many of them just come in because they hate me. But a lot of them come in to watch. But what happens is that the X people, they throttle it down with algorithms. You see this with YouTube too. We just had a wonderful lady, Susie from Cyprus. We interviewed her, and she's seen herself being throttled down by YouTube. And so, this program, you never know what's going to happen with the algorithm when you try to put this on YouTube. Is the algorithm going to let you succeed or let you fail? We don't know. So we're fighting an uphill battle, but it's a battle that must be fought. And I'm here to tell you right now that if I didn't do this trip and come back with this information, the propagandists that are out there selling the Ukraine is winning would be in a better position, because the thing that allows me to counter them so strongly is I can say I was there. I was there, right there, talking to the people that matter. And this is why we have to keep doing what we're doing. We have to keep going back. We have to keep being empowered. I last was in the SMO 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, and it was a good trip, and I learned a lot. But the war has changed, Russia has changed, everything has changed. And for me to continue to talk in a allegedly informed fashion about the SMO based on 2-year-old information is just it's not professional. So this trip had to be done. I'm very glad that I did it. I wish we could have completed it. I couldn't go to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant because it's too dangerous. They were just literally, Scott, you're going to die. And me, I don't care. I'm going to do it. And they're like, well, no. because after a while, it's like, Scott, you understand that it just won't be you dying. We understand,
right.
but we're going to die too, and we don't want to die. So no. And then you're going to go on I was supposed to go on the Crimea, do the whole loop, top to bottom loop, but we got the Melitopol, and the highway of death is called the highway of death for a reason. And trying to make it to Kherson at that point in time, it was literally like playing Russian roulette with 5 out of the 6 chambers loaded with live ammunition. I mean, click, miss, good, yay, click, oh, wow, we're doing really, boom, you're going to get it. And because they blew up the Chongar Bridge connecting to Crimea, we couldn't sprint in and then sprint into Crimea. We would have to turn around, which means that if we survive the first round of Russian roulette, we got to play the second round of Russian roulette going back. And the odds weren't, the Hunger Games, the odds be in your favor. Well, the odds were not in our favor. So it was a little frustrating because I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. But I tell you what, I got to sit down with the drone operators. I got to watch them work. I got to go to the Drone Research Center and watch them explain the technology to me. I interviewed Dmitry Rogozhin, former head of Roscosmos, who today runs a drone unit / center called Bar Sarmat, and had a very fascinating conversation with him. Got to interview very experienced drone operators, guys who were there from the very beginning, the guys who invented drone warfare when it first started. They're the ones who got the commercial drones and were flying them, and now today they're the ones who are doing the visionary reassessment of drone warfare and tactics and the technology. And I got to do all that, and we'll be producing a documentary film based on this, and I'll be writing articles about this. But again, none of that could happen long distance. I couldn't sit here in Albany and keep doing that. You have to go and you have to do it. So I would just continue to tell people, if you can't do it yourself, then support the people that do it. Support Garland. You got that fund going, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Return Garland to Russia fund?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last thing I wanted to ask you is, or get you to comment on, and that is, I'm reading these articles in the West, and you see the bots on X. Yes, the Russian people have had enough they're ready to end the war, and they, the implication being this, where they're getting hit with drones, their lives are a living hell, and they're all looking at Putin saying, we've had enough, uncle, just call and take whatever deal you can get and walk away, when in fact, my experience in Russia was the opposite. It was, they were angry, saying, you ain't hitting them hard enough. You know what I mean? The only anger at Putin, or the only frustration, was never just take a deal and walk away. That's not even in the conversation. It is just hit them harder, hit them faster, smash them all, crush, kill, destroy, as the robot used to say in Lost in Space. I'm giving my old Danger Will Robinson, crush, kill, destroy, right? But that's what the people are saying. It's actually the opposite. Any frustration with Vladimir Putin and his administration is that you are not being aggressive enough. And it's interesting to watch them show the bots on Twitter and the BBC all say the opposite.
Well, there are some people in Russia who, again, I did a 3-hour interview with Ksenia Sobchak, who's a very big name. Now, she hasn't published the interview yet. Come on, Ksenia. 3 hours. Some good stuff. Call me if you got a problem. But, she is against the war. Very much against the war. And she articulates, and there's a certain, I guess, spectrum of Russian society that's against the war as well. Because they continue to be pro-Western, and there's Russians and there's people in Russia who, love, Apple technology, it's good technology, but does that mean that you're anti-Russian? No, it just means you like it. But there are people who say, oh no, I love Western technology, Western culture, Western this, Western that, and they don't appreciate being Russian. And there are people out there that still are that. Most of them left, they fled. When the war started, and the other ones who remained have converted. As you said, it's hard to be anti-Russian living in Russia because you're surrounded by the evidence of the sacrifice of your forefathers. And to be anti-Russian means that you're betraying everything that Russia stands for. And there's 27 million pairs of eyes staring down at you from the heavens every day, reminding you of the sacrifices that were made. But there are people there who question the war. There's no doubt about that. And they have a voice, etc. The mistake that's made is giving them too much attention. Paying too much attention to them. Because Garland, you and I did it. We went to the patriotic front or whatever, where the old retired ladies are weaving the things and working overtime to put together support packages for the troops. And in every city, there are multiple groups like this. It's just, people volunteer to drive this stuff to the front. Alexandra, you met Alexandra, her mother drives to the front multiple times, delivering goods. This is Russia. These are Russian people. They're all heroes, every single one of them. And we can't, I think what happens is that in America, we don't know enough about Russia. We also are, exposed continuously to Russophobia. So we sort of might even have a natural inclination to be sort of negatively inclined towards Russia. So you gravitate to the information that best fits your opinion of what the world is. Very few people start off and say, I got a clean slate, I need to know. I only insist on fact-based knowledge. Most people come in with an opinion formed by their past experiences, et cetera. Then you gravitate to the source of data that best reflects your opinion. So now you're reinforcing your opinion. And if your opinion is wrong, you're reinforcing failure. And so you can go out there and find sources in Russia that will support any position you have, whether Putin's the best president or Putin's the worst president. But the reality is you got to go through the bias filter and filter out those sources of information that have heavy bias and just get down to the basic Russian. There's a reason why Putin has 79% support, because the vast majority of the basic Russians support him. They support Russia. They support what's going on, even if they don't think that Putin's exercising or executing the plan perfectly. They support him because he's a Russian leader. And look what he's done for Russia. That's the other thing that people don't understand. For 26 years now, this man has taken a nation that was literally in the cesspool, and he's built it to this amazing country. Is it perfect? No. I mean, I always love when people pull up a photograph. Look at the dirt roads. Dude, I can go right down here 5 miles away from where I live and find you a dirt road in America. Look at the buildings that like that. It's like they posted something on Moscow that Moscow Center. Remember that really fancy place with all the New York City style skyscrapers would be even better. And they did, this is Moscow. Then they flipped over here and you got old Khrushchev type buildings, that are a little run down. Oh, this is Moscow. Have you guys driven from JFK Airport into Manhattan? Gone through some of those neighborhoods and taken a look at that? I mean, there's not a place in the world that you could go where you're not going to find that kind of contrast. What I can say though is I'll take you to New York City subway, and then we'll compare that with the Moscow subway or the St. Petersburg subway or any subway. The Russians do it right. And it's not just Moscow and St. Petersburg. Go to Grozny. You've been to Grozny. Filthy city, wasn't it? Filthy city. I mean, no modern construction at all. Those Chechens live in the Stone Age. And you could go to Volgograd and find a city. You go to Ekaterinburg, go to Novosibirsk, go to any Russian city, and you're looking at a modern city, modern society. I went to Irkutsk, and that's where I first got exposed to the concept of Yandex cars. Because they got these cars just parked on the road. I'm like, why are they here? Want to go for a ride? What do you mean? Pull out their cell phone. Ding, 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 ding. We're in the car and we're driving. We just rented a car instantly. And outside to park it, where's the nearest parking spot? You park into approved Yandex parking spot and you're out. They come around and they maintain the cars. They refuel the cars. You don't have to do anything. You rented the car. And they've got scooters that do this. They got this. As you're walking the streets anywhere in Russia, you'll run into these little R2D2 things, these little robot things with the flag on it. Beep, beep, beep. That's fast food delivery. You call up, say, I want a pizza. They put it in the little thing, beep, 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 and there it delivers it. And the Russians are amazing. They make way for it. They respect it. Every once in a while, they find one that hits something and can't get over it. They help it up and move it. Russia is a very modern society, a very advanced society, and it's populated by really, really good people with great hearts.